Hi, I'm Rick Lambert, joined by Cheryl Weedmark for our what number episode are we today, Cheryl?
We are, believe it or not, number 38 already, Rick.
38. Wow, it sounds like an encyclopedia collection here. You know, folks, I had a full head of hair when we started this thing in 2020. Today, we're talking about a common question we get asked. You know, should I outsource my digital marketing or should I insource, meaning I hire one or multiple people to do it inside? And might I clarify as well, we're talking about small, medium-sized businesses here, not huge corporations that have marketing departments. We're talking about 10, maybe to 100 employee organization. And you're sitting there thinking, you know, I'm 8 months into this pandemic thing, and should I insource or outsource? So Cheryl, you've got some reasons around that we share with customers why they should consider outsourcing. But we want to stay objective today because, you know, it's whatever's right for the people viewing today for their business. They'll know what's best.
Yeah, and I think the two biggest reasons that I would argue for outsourcing your digital marketing is number one, experience and expertise. So a good team or a good digital marketing team would be made up of people that have various skill sets. So for example, strategy, marketing, content, design, branding, lead gen, web development, ad campaign manager. So when you outsource, you're actually hiring, hopefully, the best in the field that can help you and your organization. And the second thing is tools.
Can I just, sorry. So Cheryl, my wife and I put in a custom kitchen years ago, which I don't recommend for the health of any marriage, by the way. Okay, so many options, so many things. And we had three, I would call them top, you know, caliber kitchen strategists come in and say, okay, with the floor space we had, and two of the three said we should go with this countertop island thing and a kitchen table. And the third group came in and said, no. Based on today's lifestyle, just go with one great big countertop. Forget about the kitchen table because you got a dining room table. And they completely recommended something different. And so your point about strategy, I don't think all marketing departments are built the same. Mm-hmm. And I really think the strategy in terms of the direction you take is so critical. And unless you're doing this every day and you've got proof cases to measure against, it's difficult sometimes for one person to really, you know, figure out what's the best plan to start, right?
Absolutely agree. The second thing I was going to mention is just tools. So marketing agencies usually have access to special tools and different software, which gives them the benefit of being able to get very fast but very accurate research so that you can pivot and stop doing something that's not working or start doing something and further implement your plan on being able to reach your return on investment or your KPIs at the end of the month. Quickly, innovation as well. So team members in an agency are constantly researching trends that are happening in the industry. They're constantly brainstorming creative ideas and ways to enhance their clients' digital marketing results. So that is what they do. They live, they breathe the digital marketing world, and they're constantly looking for that next way to be innovative with their clients.
So, you know, a lot of small businesses, if you're watching right now, you may say, hey, maybe I should hire, maybe it's a millennial, maybe it's a Gen Z, maybe it's a whatever marketing person. But think about it, in an 8-hour day, a 5-day work week, as an employee, we'll call it, here's the skill sets they have to have. They have to understand in today's marketing mix, how do I produce a video, not just make it, but what is said, how does it begin, end, etc. Then how do I upload it, present it so it gets viewed? What about reviews monitoring? Okay, that's a skill in its own. Paid advertising, another niche skill. Like I would not send the wrong person to Vegas with my money. Okay, we've seen some calamities there. Search engine optimization. This is an art. This is math and science. You can't fight it being done right versus done wrong. Blogging, like the simple time it takes to strategize a blog strategy and make sure the words within it are good anchor points or magnets for your audience. Email, like writing an email. Cheryl, you speak and I speak to the graduates of digital marketing programs. And if there's one challenge we find with today's, we'll call it newer humans, it's actually, you know, writing skills. And I won't even get into spelling, but all these different skills have to be aligned and coordinated and professional enough to represent your brand. And I just think sometimes one person, even two, it's a heavy workload to put on anybody.
And that's actually my next point, is that when you outsource your digital marketing, you're giving yourself something that everybody in this world needs and wants, and that is time, because you're freeing up your calendar. And all of a sudden now the digital marketing process, which is actually not at the core of what you do in your organization, has been passed on to somebody and an agency that has a very balanced structure of how they distribute the work between the employees who do the work, and also being able to hit and a set deadline that you have. So running a very successful marketing plan requires a skill group of people. As you mentioned, they need to strategize on a plan, but then of course the implementation, which is a daily occurrence. So outsourcing your digital marketing is actually giving you back the gift of time.
Well, I mean, time's important. So is performance and actual, ROI, KPI measurement. And, when I started in sales in the late 80s with Xerox Corporation, we had a saying to customers. We said, why don't you stick to your knitting? Meaning you are an insurance company, or you're a manufacturer, you're a law firm, and let us, right, do those things that take you away from those revenue generating activities, hence outsourcing. Now, look, if you're watching today, I know there's a movement out there as well with some saying, hey, look, I've got somebody, I control them, him or her, et cetera. They're in our culture, which we think are valuable. What we have seen sometimes, if that person leaves, okay, what is the continuity plan to continue the marketing effort? Where are all the files? What is the continuation, the continuity plan? But I would just ask you today, most of our customers are looking for portability, okay, scalability, measurement of whatever's being done. And oh, by the way, to get into these new frontiers that Cheryl mentioned, that we think candidly, you may get from an agency versus maybe one or two humans inside your office. And from a cost standpoint, which is always measured against performance, I mean, the cost to hire the right person could be far more expensive, I think, Cheryl, from what we see, versus paying a monthly fee for a set deliverables. They're going to cut the grass, trim the hedges, shovel the snow in the winter, et cetera, type of thing.
And mistakes are also can be very expensive for companies to fix. A couple more points before we wrap up. So what's nice about outsourcing is that you have an availability of various options as to how you outsource. So one option might be to partially outsource your marketing. So you might decide that you want to keep the strategy part in-house and then outsource some other components like the production. If you're doing videos as an example, you might want to outsource the strategy part of it and maybe the content production, but you want to keep the social media marketing in-house and maybe manage internally some other components. So there are hybrid models that are available which allow you to come in and pick and choose the areas that you really need the support.
Yep. And, as a business owner myself, a lot of times, you want to streamline your vendors for accountability. And if you've got a mixed bag of vendors out there and this person's doing the grass cutting, the other guy's doing the hedges, someone else is watering the flowers, a lot of companies, I think, benefit from one neck to choke kind of model. So they're accountable for the execution, the mistakes. And, candidly, we've had a lot of customers come to us in concept, right? They may be a Chevrolet dealer with a Ford product appearing in their social media because someone didn't know. So this is the type of level of detail and accountability that a lot of customers are looking for, especially when it's critical that you maximize your marketing spend.
For sure. So Rick, the bottom line is that good marketing agencies, the good ones, I should say, live by the rule that if their clients are successful, then they as an agency are in turn successful, because the reputation of an agency all falls on and depends on the success that their clients have. So ultimately, for us, I can say, we're happy and we feel like we did a good job when we see positive results and our clients are happy and they're achieving the ROIs that they want. So that's another point. And also, I want to talk a little bit about analytics and reporting before we go. So a lot of agencies have systems in place, then they monitor timelines and they monitor deliverables. They're continuously looking at the data. Did this work? Can we further optimize this ad? We understand, latest technology trends, industry updates. We look at case studies. So because of that, we're able to give you almost to the minute reporting on what your digital marketing tactics are doing for you and how they're helping you as a company grow.
So, folks, I'm not mechanical, just for a closing analogy here. Like if I tried to fix my car, I would kind of know maybe one thing to do versus take it to a dealership where they've got all of the tools, all of the analytics, the latest software. They've been trained to execute, as Cheryl said, in specific lanes. But again, you know what's best for you. And we just today wanted to kind of hit that question, because as we sit here 8 months into the pandemic and companies realize they've got to communicate virtually or digitally, a lot of people have come to this intersection saying, hey, do I hire someone or do I look to outsource? And we just think it's an option, whether it's with our agency or another. And again, there's a large range in agencies, but it may be something you want to consider. And hopefully we've given you some thoughts today as to why a lot of companies are outsourcing versus insourcing.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2 years ago, I think it made a lot more sense for small to medium-sized businesses to insource their digital marketing by hiring a specialist. But as we know, digital marketing is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. Things are getting a lot more complex, and it's hard to stay on top of things. So why not bring in the professionals? Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any suggestions on topics that you'd like us to chat about, you can email us anytime.
Great job, Cheryl. Thank you. Episode 38. I can't believe it. Let's keep it going. Thank you, by the way, for subscribing, following us, commenting, etc. We really appreciate it. And see you next week as we head towards episode 39 and the ultimate 4-0.